Today I want to talk about how to stop beating yourself up about what you didn't accomplish in 2019, especially if you're a parent. Hi, my name is Melissa Ann Dillon, and I am your host today on Raising Kindness TV. We are a project channel, if you will, because this is one of our debut episodes. My husband and I have wanted to work on this project, Raising Kindness, for a long time now. And the best that we can do at this point is to go ahead and start recording raw, unfiltered, unedited content for you. We have so much that we want to share with you that comes from deep within our hearts and our soul that we really feel could help improve your overall sense of joy about your life for yourself and your kids and your spouse, everyone that's in your house. So today I want to talk about having goals and not feeling bad about them if you don't accomplish them in 2019. I hear this a lot from parents. I've surveyed a number of parents just like you, and I know time has been a huge issue for parents because they feel like, and I'm sure you can relate, that there just isn't enough time in the day to get everything done, and that especially if you're an ambitious parent who wants to get stuff done and accomplish things, accomplish new goals each year, I understand that right now is a time for reflection for you, as it is for me. And I realized that by nature, my recording this episode is kind of stemmed from guilt in myself for setting up this channel way back in December of 2018. And it's kind of funny because I probably set it up out of guilt for still not, I've been wanting to do something like Raising Kindness for years now and still have yet to do much with it, just because there's just so much going on the day-to-day, so much going on that I'm accomplishing that is outside of Raising Kindness. And that's when it dawned on me, I've had a really great year this year, and as I'm sure a lot of you have too. So I wanted to talk today about some of the things that I've done over the last week or so that has really helped me to bring this in perspective. And I think that I do this a little bit for myself every year, to treat myself to celebrating the things that I have accomplished. So that's actually number one, is taking a moment to reflect on everything that you've accomplished this year before going into 2020. Reflecting, you could do that in a number of ways. One of the ways that I like to do it is journal. I'll just write down point by point everything that comes to mind and really reflect on it as I'm writing, just thinking back, what did I have to do to accomplish all of those things? And each project had a set of tasks, and I accomplished those, and that was great. I was able to set aside the time for that and give myself a good pat on the back. You could also sit in silence and reflect on all the things that you've accomplished, giving yourself that sense of peace and quiet to enjoy and revel in what you've done this year. And I know you've done a lot. I know that you're probably feeling right now like, you're crazy, Melissa. I have had so much going on and I haven't gotten anything done on the things that I set out to accomplish this year. I wanted to lose 10 pounds, or I wanted to start a business, or I wanted to save $1,000 this year, or whatever it is. I don't know what it is for you, but I'm sure that you have some things. Just by nature, our brains want to tell us about all the bad things that are going on and not celebrate on the good, because the good is not what we have to focus on. I mean, by nature, our brains are set up for survival. And if that's the case, then survival means being aware of the dangers and surroundings of problems that are in your life. So, excuse yourself from getting stuck in the mindset that focuses on all of those things, because that's just your brain and its habit, and that's okay. But who you are is not your brain. I'll talk about that a lot on this show. Who you are is not your brain. Saying that again because it's so important to remind ourselves that our brain is like a mega supercomputer that focuses on processes and problem solving by nature. But our soul yearns for peace and joy. And that's where happiness comes from, is reminding ourselves of all the wonderful things that we have. And that brings us to number two, which is to reflect on what you have right now. And no matter where you are in your life, you're breathing, you have a device by which you can listen to this on YouTube or a podcast version, whichever you're listening to right now. And so I know that you're not in a state of severe poverty. You know, it feels silly to say that because I know that so many of us have lots of hardships. We've had a lot of hardships this year too. So I can understand, I totally relate. But that doesn't mean that there aren't many good things that you can appreciate in your life right now. Your kids' health, for instance, is a great one. You know, to have healthy children. I work with lots of kids, and I'm blessed to work with lots of healthy kids because a lot of these kids are in childcare. So the parents can clearly afford to put them in the preschool where we serve them. But you know, take a moment to reflect on what you can appreciate with your children. Tell me in the comments below, actually, what you appreciate with your children and what you appreciate for yourself. What are you grateful for? And we just came out of Thanksgiving at the time of this recording, and so I know that it's fresh on your mind. We're coming into the holiday. It's fresh on your mind, the things that you might be grateful for right now, because a lot of people are talking about that, you know, especially if you're a podcast or video listener and you're into learning. You know, you're here for a reason here at Raising Kindness. You stumbled upon this because maybe you're searching for some answers for your struggles right now, especially when it comes to self-reflection and the things you have or haven't accomplished this year. But I am so proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself too, because you are taking strides to find ways to improve yourself. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this right now, right? And taking a moment. You know, again, this is unedited, so sometimes I'll have a pause because I have to think very thoughtfully about what I want to say to you next. But it means so much to me to be able to be here for you, because I know how it feels to feel like, man, the whole year has just gone by. We're already in the holidays again. What happened? But then slowing down to really appreciate that can really change your perspective and clear your mind. I'll talk a lot about goals and freeing your mind from those shackles of expectations from people around you and relatives. I know relatives can be a hard one. We've always got those relatives who have their opinions, or those friends that are close to us who mean well and they have their opinions, and they don't realize that their opinions might hurt a little bit, especially if they're different from your life. And I want to give you permission right now, give yourself permission to let go of that. If you're feeling like you're down because you didn't accomplish some things that other people think that you should be right now, let that go. Let it go right now. And if you're struggling to let that go, I can actually include some links in these show notes or in the description below of, there's actually a really good meditation. I really, really enjoy it. It's a visualization meditation that really helps to release some of those big frogs, I'll call them frogs, problems. Just let them go, because a lot of the feelings of discouragement and feelings of failure are stemming from our false belief that there's real weight on it that exceeds or supersedes, whatever the word would be, your accomplishments, what you've actually accomplished this year. I'm gonna leave it there. And I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Melissa Ann Dillon. You'll hear a lot from me on this channel or on this show. And I personally will be covering a lot about time management, joy with your children, living in the present with your family and for yourself, treating yourself to a life of joy in general with your children. I used to be a workaholic, and I worked over 60 hours a week at least, and always felt that I wasn't doing enough, and I was very unhappy, and I pulled myself out of that. I really feel that my life has transformed for the much better, and so I'm going to be sharing with you very often a lot of the things that I've done that have worked for me. And I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, but what I can do is share some of the science behind why I feel the way that I feel or think the way that I think to kind of back me up. I am an early childhood educator. You'll also hear a lot of theories and systems in child development that you can also apply to your own life and the life of your kids from me, because I'm so passionate about that. And I think that the more we understand about how our bodies work and development works and how our brains work, then the better off we are in taking control of our mind and allowing our mind to be happy and free. So I hope that that sounds enjoyable to you. If it does, please subscribe, because that will help not only for you to get the notifications if you hit the bell to get notified when we do have new episodes, but also it will tell the algorithms in YouTube or the podcast, wherever you're listening here today, that you enjoyed it and that it might be something that other parents might enjoy, so that they'll spread the word by nature in the interwebs so that more people can hear this message. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you subscribe and do hope to see you in the next episode. Take care of yourself and enjoy.